Hi, I'm Samantha Varner, and this is the She Needs Grit podcast, the show where I dig into how to prioritize profit in your business and build an empire using grit and strategy and doing it in a simple, no BS kind of way. Let's get started. Hello, everybody. It is Sam, your host of She Needs Grit podcast. And today we are going to talk about questions you need to consider in order to change your bottom line for profit. So grab a coffee, sit on down, and let's go through this. I really firmly believe that in order to create the best business that you can possibly create, one of the most important things to be doing is to be reflecting backwards and evaluating what worked, what didn't work in your business, where you need to see changes, and acknowledging the wins that you've accomplished over the last time frame. So be it 6 months or be it a year or be it a month, I think that that makes just the level of awareness internally that we are acknowledging how much work we've put in and the wins and the successes that we've had, along with evaluating where things maybe didn't go the way that we were hoping, so that we can start to think about and create the changes necessary to make sure that they do work and it does happen. So, what I've had a lot of my clients do this year is a mid-year review, and I wanted to bring this onto the podcast for you because I think it's so valuable to take a look at what you are doing. It's now June of 2022. So you now have had 6 months of the year and you started off with a bang and things are going amazing. And it is time to reflect and make sure that the actions you're taking, the goals that you'd set out, the results that you're creating are all in line with what you're trying to do. It's also a time where you can reflect on whether or not you need to make some shifts in your business, be it in what you're doing, what you're not doing, how you can come to the table differently and show up for yourself for the next 6 months of the year to really end the year strong. So, I'm going to just shout out a couple of different questions here that I think are incredibly valuable and really worth your time to actually sit and consider these. Okay. Now, I didn't pull most of these questions, aren't questions I've come up with myself. There's actually um, a fantastic link that I'll put in the show notes. It's from Ink and Volt. It's their yearly planning series and it's their mid-year review. So this is not my own creation. I will put a link in and you can actually download the document and fill it out. That's actually what I did with my clients as well. But I'm going to go through this today with you on the podcast. And if you don't want to download the link, no big deal. Just follow along, write some notes, and start to think about this. But let's start with, what was your vision for the first part of the year? What were you hoping to accomplish this year, 2022? Can you remember? Or is it a little bit like those New Year's resolutions where you inadvertently have forgotten altogether what they were? Or are you a person who's taken heed and is writing down your goals day in, day out? How close am I getting? Focusing on them, really envisioning what it would be like to be that person. Do you feel like in the last 6 months, your actions and accomplishments have aligned with the vision, or have you gotten a little bit off track? Think about it. It's okay to be really honest here. The only way to get better is if we're honest and we reflect on what we have done and maybe what we haven't done and go back to the table and decide, what are we going to do now, right? We're recommitting to the goals that we had. We're reevaluating whether we're living up to our standards the way we wanted, and we can make changes from here. I want you to come to this exercise not from a place of judgment. It is just a place of information and fact, evaluation, and then moving forward in whatever way you see fit. Okay. This is not to feel crappy. We do not want to go through this exercise and feel like super shitty about what we have or haven't done. That serves us in no way at all. So I want you to look back with kindness and acceptance and move forward with excitement, okay? So I want to know, are you satisfied with your progress on your yearly goals so far? Are you a little bit behind? Are you right in line with what you would need to do? Or are you significantly lagging behind? I want you to think about that, okay? Okay. I want you to look back on all that has happened over the last 6 months. What are some of the great memories or noteworthy accomplishments and moments that you've gone through? Really spend some time here. I guarantee that you have accomplished so much in a 6 month time frame. And we don't often take the time to acknowledge that. We're always off to the next thing. We're always striving for the goal. And there's value in that, right? It's super important. But also, we lose sight of how amazing we have already done. And I really, really want you to start embracing that and doing that regularly. Which one of these accomplishments that you've come up with are you most proud of? Why? Is it because it was hard? It was so challenging to accomplish that? Is it because you didn't think it was ever possible? What does it look like for you? I want you to dig into this, right? Where did you fail? What are the failures that you've seen this year? And you know what is always terrible is these come to mind so much easier than the accomplishments. Ugh, we're all working on that. We're all working to be acknowledging the wins and being neutral about the failures. They are absolutely necessary in business to move forward and get better. You have to fail. You have to push yourself outside of your comfort zone enough to fail. And so it's okay to do so. And especially if we're going to take the time to reevaluate and determine where we went wrong, how we would do it next time, and really be very gentle with ourselves. What unexpected challenges or changes have happened that you've encountered? We know that day to day, there's always going to be something in life that's going to get in the way of what our perfect timeline might be, our perfect day of scheduling something, our exceptional time blocking, all of those pieces, right? That can be very challenging. And sometimes we forget to realize that, of course, these things are going to happen. It's not a problem. That's just called life. We all do that, right? We all think that we're going to have perfect weeks and perfect months and there will never be any snafus that come along. But as you and I both know, there is always something coming up, and just anticipating it and evaluating what maybe got in the way, we can plan better for it moving forward. Okay. Sorry, flipping pages here. So the other thing is, now I want you to think about, what are the habits that you could implement for the remainder of this year that will help you achieve your goal and live within the vision that you had for yourself? I'm going to really, really think about this. What habits will support you or overcome those challenges, those life circumstances? What are the things that need to just be en route for you? That they are as easy as brushing your teeth in the morning. They are something in your business that you just know that that happens when it happens. How can you start to habitualize some of these things in order to make them less easy to fall off the radar? So, if you've gone through all of these questions and you've really taken the time to think about it, and I know when I'm saying these are very quick, but I want you to take notes. I want you to come back and watch this video again or listen to the audio again. Feel free to go and get the show notes. In the show notes, it will link directly to this document. So you'll be able to see where I'm coming from with these questions. I want you to take some time with this evaluation so that you can move forward into the remaining part of 2022, your best self. So, I really want you to take a look at this and decide, what will you achieve for the rest of 2022? How will you achieve those things in 2022? What do you need to shift? What do you need to concentrate on? What do you need to leave behind? What do you need to stop doing? What do you need to start doing? What is in between you and accomplishing your goals for 2022? All right, guys. I know that this can be an exercise that's difficult. It can be something that is a challenge when you have to really sit down and do this evaluation. But I promise to you, the value of doing this evaluation, you will be amazed with what the results are just by taking a deeper look at this. Okay, so I want you to take some time this week. We're at the beginning of June. I want you to really consider, what would you need to do to make this happen? How can you carve out time to give yourself dedicated time to do that? And what do you come up with? What are the habits you're going to implement in your business so that you are creating the business results, the profit that you want to all year long? I cannot wait to hear this, guys. Please leave a review of the podcast. Share with me on Instagram at shecollective.biz. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know what your struggle is. And I can't wait to talk to you next week.